Hello everyone, welcome into the ITLS Academy. I'm Dr. Himani and now I'm going to deliver lecture on role of generic pharmaceuticals industry in healthcare. So what is medicine? Medicine is the science and practice of stabilizing the diagnosis, prognosis, treatment and prevention of disease. Medicine enforces a variety of healthcare practices involved to maintain and restore health by the prevention and treatment of illness. So, medicine apply biomedical research, genetics, and medical technology to diagnose, treat, and prevent injury and disease, typically through pharmaceuticals or surgery. So now what is the drug? In pharmacology, a drug is a chemical substance typically of known structure which when administered to a living organism produce a biological effect. A pharmaceutical drug also called a medication or medicine. Drug is a chemical substance to use to treat, cure, prevent or diagnose a disease or to promote well-being. So now here drugs versus medicine. How we can differentiate between drug and medicine. So what is defined as a drug? How we can define as a drug and medicine difference. So drug is a chemical substance that taken control of your body or mind depending on its own inherent nature. Like we can understand by this example, like when you take a sleeping pill, it puts you to sleep no matter how much you want to be awake. It rules over your body and mind. You can repeat this exercise many times and you will experience the same each time. It does not stop there. Subsequently, when you want to sleep, it will make your body ask for the pill again. As you start yielding to its demand, it will keep asking progressively for an increased dose for the same amount of sleep while reducing the quality of sleep. You will finally end up in a state that unless you take these pills, you simply cannot sleep. This stage is called drug dependency. Your life will not be under your control but the drugs. So now, what is medicine? Medicine is the substance that helps restore normalcy to your body and mind. Normalcy is a actual nothing but your volunteer control over your own body and mind. Hence, its action can be seen to be the exact opposite of the drug. Properties of a good medicine are that you will never compulsively require the medicine and there is no threat of the discomfort or danger when not taken on time. So now brand name versus generic drugs. So what is brand name drugs? These drugs are also called innovator drugs, invented by pharmaceutical companies to prevent them from being copied or reverse engineered by other companies. It is usually the product for which efficiency, safety, and quality have been fully stabilized. Generic drug is defined as a drug product that is comparable to brand or innovator drug in doses from strength, route of administration, quality and performance characteristic and initiated use. It should contain the same active ingredient as original formulation. According to FDA, generic drugs are indicate or within a acceptable bioequivalent range to the brand name counterpart with respect to pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamic properties. Here is some example of generic and branded drug with their price. In first column is a category, second column is generic drug names, and in third column you can see the price range of the generic drug, and next column is brand drugs names, and next column the price name of the branded drugs. So you can differentiate the price range also in generic drug and branded drug here. Like here is some categories we can see, like analogistic categories in a generic drug is is a paracetamol. The price is 2.45 rupees. Now the branded drug is crocin, but their price is 11 rupees. Now you can differentiate the price range also. So, and like antibiotics, we just use azithromycin and amoxicillin. So if we are see azithromycin rupees is the price range is 41.8 rupees. Here is the S, and price range is 107. So here is a huge difference in the price range. Now we can compare the difference in price range also. So like vitamins also, here folic acid price range is 2.8, and here polivite is rupees almost 11.8. So now goal about generic medicine. The main goal in introducing generic medicine into market was to decrease price. After the expiry of patent or marketing rights of the patent drugs, generic drugs are marketed. Today about 50% of the prescription are filled with generic drug. Generic drugs are labeled with the name of the manufacturers and the adopted name of the drugs. Now we are discussing about the economics. Globally, India ranked third in terms of manufactured pharmaceuticals product by volume. Thus, every drug cost depends upon on the expenditure of the research and procedure of approval. WHS says 3.2% Indians will fall below the poverty line will because of high medical bill. 39 billion Indians are pushed to poverty because of ill health every year. So the prescriptions from branded drug to generic drug will lead to the annual reproduction of overall 11% in drug cost. Around 30% in rural India did not go for any treatment for financial constraints. Now, annual turnover of India pharmaceutical market. Here you can see the graph from 2015 to 2018. It's a graph of domestic pharma market turnover. India domestic pharmaceutical market turnover reached rupees 129,015 crores in 2018, growing 9.4% year on year from 116,389 crores in 2017. So in February 2019, the Indian pharmaceutical market grew by 10% year on year. Medicine spending in India is projected to grow 9 to 12% over the next 5 years, leading India to become one of the top 10 countries in terms of medicine spending. India cost of production is significantly lower than that of the US and almost half of that of Europe. It gives a competitive edge of India over others. So now India presents in the global market. India play a major role in manufacturing and supplying medicine globally. India supplies over 50% of worldwide demand for many vaccines, 40% of generic drug consumed in the US, and 25% of all the medicines distributed in the UK. India is the chief global source of affordable medicine to UNICEF. Many India companies are co-partnering with foreign voluntary organizations for making drugs available to lesser development countries like Mozambique, Rwanda, South Africa, and Tanzania, which have about 33% of all people living with AIDS in Africa. So, affordable ERF drug from India were a major factor in its patient getting greater access to treatment. As per FY 2017-2018, 8 out of top 20 global generic companies are from India. The India pharmaceutical market is expected to touch US 72 billion sales by 2020 from 11 billion. Sale of generic drug provides higher profit margins than the sale of branded drug. So it is profitable for the distribution network as well. India ranks 17 in the term of exports. The paradox is that despite producing hug pharmaceutical products, its products to more than 200 countries around the globe, including higher regulate market of USA, Europe, Japan, and Australia. Modern trends for shifting pharmaceuticals market from branded drug to generic drug. In 2010, India's share of the generic market is about 30% out of 71.2% and reached 100 billion. In late 2012, 40% of DMFs were filled by Indian market in USFDA for supplying APIs. Now, India's share of the generic market is about to 35%. Hence, the contribution of the India pharmaceutical industry for the growth of generic drug in the world is very high. So here you can see the graph shift in the generic drug market. Now, the yellow background is showing branded companies and the green background is showing your generic companies. Now you can see it in 2005 what is the scenario of branded and generic companies. In 2005 branded covered 50.6 and generic covered 49.4%, and till 2010 it converted into generic comes up 71.2, and now the branded is only take to 28.8. So now you can see the graph which increased 2005 to 2010. This is the shifting in the generic drug market scenario. We can see or we can say like that between 2004 to and 2010, generic drug eroded the market share of branded drug at an average of 7.6%. In 2010, 71.2% of the filled prescriptions were generic. Why do brand name drugs cost more than generic? Branded name drugs take several years, costly scientific development, and many clinical studies to get market approval. Maybe some other things is like manufacturers of brand name innovator drugs usually take on the research and development cost for new medications. These research and development costs along with marketing costs accounts for most of the higher price pay for most brand name drug. In contrast, generic drugs have less research and development costs since the original manufacturers has already done many studies to make sure the drug is safe. These savings are passed on to the customer. Recent rules by FDA for generic drug for India. Generic drug manufacturers would be able to independently update product labeling with newly acquired safety information before the FDA's review of the changes. In the same way, brand drugs manufacturers do today. So, generic manufacturers would also be required to information the brand name manufacturers about the change. All generic drug makers like Ranbaxy, Cipla, Dr. Reddy, Lupin are now required to pay a fee to the US drug recruiter while seeking permission to launch their product in the world's largest drug market. What role does India play in the generic medicines space? India is currently among the biggest provider of generic medicine in the world, and it accounts for 20% of the volume of global generic drug exports. What works in India's favor is the talented pool of scientists, researchers, and engineers who develop innovative solutions for healthcare at cost base that is significantly lower than that of many other countries worldwide. Till 2005, product patent on medications were not granted in India, and this gave rise to the development of generic low-cost version of medicine that had already been patented in other countries. In fact, India talents were the first to manufacture life-saving drugs like Imtinib for cancer and Zidovudine for HIV treatment just a few years after their launch in the US. Reverse engineering and manufacture of such generic medicine and vaccination at significantly lower cost has made India a big name in the global pharma market. This act has played a considerable role in making high quality medication affordable to patients across the world and brought down the prices of several life-saving drugs used in treatment of major ailments. So, today, many global healthcare programs such as the Global Funds to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria, as well as UNICEF, regularly use generic medicines developing in India to treat a number of infectious diseases. Here is the top 15 pharma companies in India. You can see of 15 topmost pharma companies named, just like a Sun Pharma, Arvindo Pharma, Lupin, Cipla, Dr. Reddy, Cadila, Intense. So many pharmaceuticals companies are present in our India. So there is a list of top 15 pharma companies. You can see the turnover of companies. So here is the biggest company name is Sun Pharmaceuticals, done over 273.28 billion, and Abbott is also a very topmost pharmaceutical company name, is almost turnover is almost 34.24 billion. So these companies are really doing good, very good in the pharmaceutical field. So what is the advantage? Generic medicine provide many economic advantage to like a consumer's pharmaceutical business. It may be supplied by more than one company. It new regulatory process to reduce time and cost of generic drug approvals. This must have the quality, safety, and strength. Now, drawback of generic medicines. Innovator drugs are more expensive because the company who first manufacture the drug spend large amount of money in research to develop the new drug, which includes clinical trials, marketing, and promotions of the drugs. Generic drugs are cheaper as their manufacturers are not required to demonstrate their efficiency and safety through clinical trial, as these have also been stabilized by the innovators. In addition, when the patent of a drug expires, there will be more company produce generic drug, which create competitions and many reduce the cost of a drug. During bioequivalence studies, some error may arise, which may lead to some complications. Moreover, bioequivalence studies are less accurate than bioavailability studies. However, generic drugs still need to conform to same standard or quality, safety, and efficiency required of the innovators. There may be some variations during reformulation. Some patient some patent may be allergic to, some patient may be allergic to new colors, flavors, and generic drugs are not possible in all the case because it takes long time to expire any patent. Now, patent protection. In most countries of the world, patent give 20 years of protection. However, many countries, example like the European Union and the USA, may grant up to 5 years of additional protection for the drugs. When the patent on a brand name drug near expiration, drug companies that want to manufacture a generic can apply to the FDA to sell a generic version of the drug. Now, government role to promote cheap drug in 2008, the government had set up a scheme called Jan Anusandhan Jan Ayusanthi. Sorry, it was the Jan Ayusanthi, whose purpose was to set up generic drug across the country. But the scheme failed due to lack of awareness and incentives involved from pharma companies to doctors. Recently, Medical Council of India released a circular issued to medical colleges, state medical council and state governments about prescribing generic drug to patients. Now, India pharma exports and its growth so far. India does not just stand out as a big name in the generic medicine and vaccine space. It is also among the top nations when it comes to the overall pharma industry and export strength. A look at India overall export statistics show that it stands among the top pharma market in the world in the period of 2017 to 2018 alone. Pharma products amounting to 17.13 billion were exported from India. This number is expected to rise to 55 billion made by 2020, making the country the sixth largest pharma market in the world in terms of size. Now, what is the conclusion overall of all these discussion? Generic drugs are the answer to better healthcare for all. India has one of the highest out of pocket healthcare expenditure in the world. And despite providing very cheap services, it's still inaccessible to many due to poor purchasing power. So, the main goal in introducing generic medicine into market was to decrease prices after the expiry of patent generic drugs are marketed. About 50% of all prescriptions are filled with generic drugs. In India, share of generic market is about to 35%. Hence, the contribution of the pharmaceutical industry for the growth of generic drug in the world is very high. The pharmaceuticals market will grow day by day, so it is a evolution. The only way the only way to promote generic drug is to curb elite medical practice, and moreover the MCI need to provide more practical guidelines rather than a archaic set of rules which simply cannot be followed in the real world. So now thank you for listening our lecture. Thank you a lot.